Cleopatra lived closer in time to the moon, landing, then to the construction of the Great Pyramid. Let that sink in for a second. The pyramids are so old that we landed on the moon before we truly understood how they were built. That's just the first thing that's going to break your brain today. Welcome back. Today we're skipping the fluff. I've found 15 interesting facts so wild and so genuinely mind-bending that you're going to be repeating them at every dinner table for the next month. Let's get into it. First, history is not a straight line. Cleopatra was born in 69 BC. The Great Pyramid of Giza was finished around 2560 BC. That's a 2,500-year gap. The moon landing was 1969. That's only a 2,000-year gap. Cleopatra was literally closer in time to the iPhone than to the pyramids. And speaking of old tech, Nintendo was founded in 1889. That's before the Eiffel Tower was even finished. They started by making handmade playing cards. The same company that gave you Mario was selling cards to people who'd never even seen a car. Not all history takes a long time, though. The shortest war in recorded history lasted between 38 and 45 minutes. It was the Anglo-Zanzibar War of 1896. Zanzibar surrendered before most of the soldiers even had time to reload. You show up, fire a few shots, and you're home for lunch. But some things are older than you can imagine. Oxford University started teaching students in 1096. The Aztec Empire didn't even exist until the 1300s. Students were walking the halls of Oxford before the Aztecs were even a thing. Now, let's look at science. A day on Venus lasts 243 Earth days. But a year on Venus, one trip around the sun, only takes 225 Earth days. So, on Venus, a day is actually longer than a year. And if you think the sun is hot, consider this. The surface of the sun sits at around 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit, but a bolt of lightning reaches 53,000 degrees. That single bolt is 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun. You're also not the same person you were 10 years ago, literally. Your skeleton is constantly rebuilding itself. Every cell in your bones is replaced over roughly a decade. The skeleton you have today is not the one you had in elementary school. You've been rebuilt from the inside out. Nature is just as strange. Sharks have existed for 450 million years. Trees? Only 385 million. Sharks were already swimming around for 65 million years before the first tree even sprouted from the ground. And once something is here, it can stay for a while. Archaeologists found 3,000-year-old honey in Egyptian tombs, and it was still edible. Honey has almost no moisture and natural peroxide, making it basically eternal. But be careful who you hang out with. Koalas have fingerprints so similar to humans that they've actually confused forensic investigators at crime scenes. A koala could literally frame you for a crime, and the lab wouldn't know the difference. Even butterflies are weird. They have chemoreceptors on their feet, which means the moment one lands on your hand, it's literally tasting you. We also know less about our own planet than we think. There are an estimated 3 million shipwrecks on the ocean floor. The ocean contains more cultural artifacts than every museum on Earth combined. But we've only mapped about 20% of it, and your grocery store is lying to you. Botanically, a berry comes from a single flower with one ovary. That makes bananas and watermelons berries. Strawberries and raspberries, not berries. They're called aggregate fruits. You also don't want to mess with the local wildlife. Crows recognize human faces, and they hold grudges. If you're mean to a crow, it will remember you and even dive bomb you years later. Finally, let's bring it back to the pyramids. Woolly mammoths only went extinct 4,000 years ago. The Great Pyramid was finished 4,500 years ago. That means there were mammoths alive, while Egyptians were putting the finishing touches on the pyramids. Sharks are older than trees. Cleopatra lived in the future compared to the pyramids, and a koala is probably out there framing someone for a crime right now. Which one was your favorite? Drop it in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.